So, before we go deeper, I'm going to have to, and I can't restrain myself from saying what a cultural moment this film was. At a time, by the way, that we needed it deeply. And it's the first film I have ever been to see twice in a movie theater in my life. I saw it on a normal screen, and then I was like, I have to see this in IMAX. It's disrespectful to Ryan Coogler to not go and see this in IMAX, and we'll come to that. But I am so curious about your intentionality. Did you approach this with a sense of the culture-defining moment it would create? Is that something you can even process while you're working on a film?
One of the things I learned making movies is like you can only control what you control, you know? What something is gonna do once the audience has ownership of it is you know, that's up to the audience, you know? And it's up to so many different factors. I like to think, and it's not something that I've come to my own conclusion. I talked to a lot of filmmakers, like particularly Jordan Peele. You know, I had a conversation with him in the wake of Get Out. You know, and he talked about how so much of what that movie did and became was about the time that it came out. You know, obviously it's on you to make the thing that you're making the best it could be. But no, I wasn't thinking about like you know, it becoming what did you call it? A cultural.
A cultural phenomenon. It is a cultural phenomenon, and there's something about like as storytellers, you know, that paradox that when you get really into specificity, because the world you're creating is so specific. I'm sure almost none of us have ever been to Mississippi.
Right.
Let alone, we definitely haven't been there. Okay, more
few
than
people.
I thought.
Yeah.
But even then, definitely not in the era in which the film is set.
Oh, no way.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
But we're sitting here in London, and I speak for, I know many of us that we related to the story, related to the characters. It spoke to us.
Yeah.
And it's ironic given that you leaned into the detail and the historical truth of that period.
Well, absolutely, yeah. Like I think most things when they cut deep, they tend to be really specific, you know. And I think that's what I love about the art form, you know. Is like the human condition, you know. It's deeper than like all of the shit we stack on top of it to separate ourselves, you know. And when something connects with you, it just connects no matter what part of the world it's from, you know. If it's truthful. So we were just trying to tell something, make something truthful. Yeah. But it was a thing where that kind of happened, like it happened on the Panther, on specifically the first Panther, like where the movie starts taking on a life of its own with the cast and with the crew, you know, like they you know, everybody. This became everybody's movie, you know what I mean. I remember we didn't have a title for this movie for a long time. We had a code name for it, Grilled Cheese, and I remember like we were.
Tell them why it was grilled cheese.
I don't want to talk about that.
I really want to know why it was grilled cheese.
See, it was grilled cheese because I wanted to make some fast and cheap, like that we knew would taste good, like a culinary metaphor, and it turned out not to be neither fast nor cheap. But I guess it tasted good.
It tastes good though.
Yeah. But the movie didn't have a title, you know what I mean? And we was going so fast that I wasn't really tripping off it, you know, but it got to the point where, you know, we were getting deep into production, and in our studio, Warner Brothers was like, "Oh, we need a title for this movie because like we got a date and we got like," and so I remember we were workshopping titles, and we started to zero in on centers, and I kind of like we was on set, and I remember I told like our scenic painter like, "Yeah, it might be called Centers," and then she looked at me, and she was like, "It can't be called that." She was like, yo, you call this movie Sinners, I'll walk off this movie, I'll tell you right now. You know?
Wow.
And she was serious, you know what I mean? Because she was like, yo, so who's the sinner? Like, you know, is Sammy the sinner? Like, we gonna cast judgment on these characters, you know? She got so passionate. And I was like, oh man, people really like this movie, you know? Like, I remember that moment. You remember that?
Definitely. I mean, everybody from our scripty to you know, everybody was throwing names in a hat. You know? It became a daily thing. Like, what you came up with today? What you got? You know, so
Some of the names was wild.
it was insane. We could not name this movie that. It was insane. But the fact of, like, you know, everybody took ownership over it and pride over it. You know, and usually not usually, but in the you know, a few times that it has happened with me and Coog, you know, it started off like that, you know, and then, you know, Halloween comes around, you know, now you see everybody, you know, dressing up and going out to these parties, and, you know, kids, and, you know, everybody, they take real pride and ownership over it, and it turns into something bigger than what you ever could have imagined when we first started making it.
What is it about the relationship between you two that has that effect? Because, like, it's undeniable that when you are in creative partnership together, you create something bigger than the sum of its parts. Can you break down what that is?
From my perspective, you know, Mike's a really gifted actor, and he makes things that are really difficult look incredibly easy, you know. Which is like sometimes, you know, because actors like accolades, you know what I mean? Like it's sometimes I feel bad for him, you know, like because he like does like really impossible shit, but it looks so natural that people don't even think about it. It's like, oh yeah, of course Mike can box, you know what I mean? Like, of course he knows how to shoot like all these guns and knife work that Killmonger does, you know, and with this, like just seeing him come to set every day playing two completely different characters, you know, that obviously have a relationship with each other, and you know, his skill and his performance that he built, like, has such a suspension of disbelief, you know, like that he would come to set as, you know, I could tell which character was walking up behind me, you know what I mean, like how he was carrying himself, and you know, I was just so in awe of his skill and also his work ethic, you know what I mean? Like just setting the tone, and then also he's a good dude, you know, like respectful of everybody on set, treats everybody the same, from the producer to the PA, knows people's names, and when you're able to set a standard like that, you know, between director and lead actor, it sets the table for everybody to give their best work. To exhale, know they can come to set and not be bothered or picked on or mistreated. You know, people will give you they best ideas, you know, their truest self, and that, you know, is a very beautiful thing. You know, like so I think that's why I continue to work with Mike. I think that's what makes our work together so special. And on this one, we lucked out with this young man. This is his first movie.
With Miles is say, congratulations. Is it 6 Grammys? Yeah. 6 Grammy nominations this weekend. You're having quite the year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And it feels like the beginning of something that we hope we're going to enjoy witnessing for a long time. Sure. I watched the movie and then I wanted to know everything the first time I saw it, and I read about your audition and how there were loads of like really shiny audition tapes, like really well lit, really super produced, and you were basically like practically in the dark in a basement.
Yeah.
Just talk to us about your decision to audition for this film and how you approached that.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the lighting was right. You know, I had like I learned, you know, you live and you learn, but yeah, I mean, that was my first self-tape. So,
ever?
Yeah, ever. So I sent in my initial interview. I got a call back. Then they had sent the sides, which is the opening scene you see in the plantation, and then the conversation that Sammy has with his father. I sent those lines, and then I got another call back. And then maybe a couple weeks later, they called me and they were like, you know, we want to fly him out to LA to do an in-person audition. And that's where I met Mike and I met Ryan and Ludwig and, you know, the production team. And yeah, at that point I felt like this is like, it didn't seem real, man. Like it felt like could this really be happening? And then fast forward like a couple weeks after that, I was like at the mall somewhere and I get a call from an Oakland phone number and Ryan called. Ryan called me and he said he wanted me to be a part of it. So we had 2 months to prepare. I didn't know how to play guitar before that, so I got a guitarist, and I worked with acting and dialect coach Beth McGuire. And shout out to Randy Boland, my guitar teacher, and we worked for 2 months to prepare for the role.
That's incredible. And I really want to know, was it grilled cheese you thought you had a part in? Like, what did you know about the movie when you got the part?
Nothing. No, I'm playing. I knew it was Ryan and Mike was attached to it, so at that point it was already surreal. You know, like watching Black Panther and Creed, you know, that I could even, you know, work with them, that was crazy. And then after I finally got the full script, and the prompt for the audition was, he was a 19-year-old sharecropper who would have been like Sam Cooke if it was 20 years later. So I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like a biopic, you know, like about life and stuff, music and stuff. And then I read the whole script. I was like, yo, what is this? And I was just blown away, man. Then having talks with Ryan about it and how much it meant to him and how it was dedicated to his uncle and just all the different elements that he was gonna incorporate in it, I was like, it felt like it was something I was supposed to be a part of.
And your life resonates with so many of the themes of the film.
Yeah.
From what I've read about you, you grew up in the church.
Yeah.
You come from a family of talented blues players.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to us about how this speaks to your own life story?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like so much of Sammy and where he was at the time, like it just, I related a lot to the character. We both the same age, both had a great ambition to be great, but just trying to figure out the best way to do it. You know, you have your family who sets a standard for you to be, you know, a certain standard, and then you have your cousins or your uncles, other people who are influencing you to do different things, and you have to make an informed decision for yourself. So I feel like I had a lot of those experiences in my real life to, you know, add to the character.
Michael,
What's up?
Black women, we're still talking about that scene, especially the bit that comes after that. How did you, sorry, it's true, you know it's true.
Oh, y'all like that, huh?
You know it's true. How did you, can you talk to us about how you prepare to play those two roles? And it's so interesting to watch them after Ryan's just said, like, on set you could see whether you were Smoke or Stack, your physicality, the way you inhabit the characters. You're playing two totally different characters, but also they have different relationships with the women in their lives. Mm-hmm. How did you prepare to do that? What was the process? What was the research? How did you bring it to life?
You know, it was a lot. I think it started from, first of all, Wunmi and Haley are truly incredible. They're extremely generous, talented, very giving, and some of the best scene partners I've ever worked with. So they did an incredible job and brought the best out of each brother, which I thought was, which I knew was very, very helpful and crucial to whatever performance I was gonna give. It really started from when Ryan was pitching, you know, the movie to me, and this idea around identical twins and wanting to explore what their relationship was like with one another, but then also the people that loved them and knew them the best. Stack being the younger of the two, and holding their childhood trauma differently. They both had the same event, the same moment. That kind of changed and shaped and molded their personalities and who they would ultimately become in life. But Stack holds his a bit differently. He smiles and talks through his pain, he doesn't like to really dwell on it and mention and talking about it. So he's much more of a talker, you know. He'll lie a lot, you know what I'm saying? But he'll move on to the next thing. He's a big idea guy, you know. Smokes the older brother, you know, who you know, doesn't like to do a lot of talking, you know. I mean, Coogler, you know, his guns do most of the talking for him, you know what I'm saying? More the enforcer, caretaker, you know what I'm saying? He's that's why he seems so much older, because he's had to become the father and take care of his younger brother, and the relationship that he has with Annie felt more, you know, that they lost a child, you know, more of a grown adult, you know, more dynamic and a love and a pain that was there that Smoke didn't like talking about, you know, he didn't like really mentioning it. So just in the development of their childhood trauma really informed, you know, how they stood, you know, the way they walked, the way they talked, the cadence, and you know, how they held their face, how they rested. You know, it all kind of started from that trauma. And then, you know, when you start adding layers of, you know, wardrobe, made little adjustments. You know, Smoke, I wore his shoes, you know, a size too big, and Stack a half size too small, just because I wanted Stack to never really feel planning. I wanted him to feel like he always wanted to, you know, move around a little bit and never really sat still or always moving from one thing to the next. He was always kind of movement, had a lot of movement to him. And Smoke, I wanted him to feel like he more grounded and didn't plan and not moving too much. So little things like that to the grills that they wore. Naturally, it changed the way, you know, you had to talk. You know, the way they fit in your teeth. And yeah, so those things and the music, you know, we shared a lot of music from the blues music to just you know, playlists that you know, me and Haley would send back and forth to one another, or, you know, me and Wumi were, you know, Coog and I, and we would constantly be talking through songs, you know, a lot of times that would be really helpful to kind of set the tone for certain things. So, and then we have an extremely talented production designer, you know, Hannah, who we've been working together since, you know, Fruitville for a really long time, and being able to walk on sets that completely take you back to that time and that period. So when we have the luxury of having all these amazing, you know, department heads, these amazing, you know, women, you know what I'm saying, coming together, it makes that part of it, you know, it helps you believe the illusion, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, to tell those stories. So yeah, all that kind of dove into just the work that led up to, you know, walking on set. And then there's a technical aspect to shooting it, which is a whole other set of challenges. So, you know, that was kind of part of the process a little bit.
And we'll come to the technical aspect. This is a little bit backwards, but as a writer, I'm so intrigued, Ryan. How much of this was on the page, and how much
Almost all of it
did you build? And how do you write to that?
Huh? How do I write to it?
Yeah, I'm so curious. Like, how did you?
The twins?
Yeah, create the twins and that differentiation.
Yeah. I grew up with a lot of twins. My godmother is a twin. My aunt, so my mom has. She's the youngest of 5. She got an older brother, and then her 2 big sisters are identical twins, Merlin and Curlin. So my whole life I had these identical twins in my life, who they look exactly the same, and they have like a psychic connection.
Bless you.
They also are kind of nuts. You know what I mean? But in our family, we can tell which one is which just by how they hold their face. Wow. You know, and I was always like fascinated with it, with this idea, and you know, it was a really fun thing to work on. We worked with a pair of twin consultants too. My homies Noah and Logan Miller, who are identical twin filmmakers from Northern California, where I'm from, and real good dudes, writers, and I put them, first I interviewed them, like just kind of sat them down and like say, tell me everything that's interesting about being an identical twin. That joke, we're cousins, that comes from them. Like they walk down the street and tell people shit like that. They make up a lie, like because they said that what they shared with me that was so interesting. They said identical twins are always celebrities. You know, like wherever they from, they're gonna be known as the twins. And it was so many fascinating revelations that they had about the psychology that comes with it. You know, but for me, it was a fun exercise to paint in contrasting colors. You know, and think about you know the backstory for these guys and how they have this this symbiotic relationship. And I loved the dual identities that the three main characters have, and how they self-identify both like verbally to other people, but also like internally. You know, that was really fun. You know, like so for Stack, it was. He would tell, like, the movie's real fun because, like, these characters, for me, it was exciting with Mike because so many times we played characters that are kind of coming of age because we were coming of age, you know what I mean? Exactly. We was growing up. Yeah. So it was like the first time that we got to make a movie as kind of fully formed men, you know, and Mike got to play a character that was like a you know, that they weren't, these guys aren't changing, you know what I mean?
They grown, like, yeah, who they are.
Yeah, there's no arc for these guys, you know, yeah, like in, and these are also guys who will tell you what they are, you know. So for Smoke, it was soldier. That was what he outwardly identified as, but internally he identified as father. You know, he wouldn't say this, but that's how he saw himself inside. For Stack, he would tell you, I'm a pimp. You know what I mean? Like he was that kind of dude. I'm sure everybody's met those kinds of folks. If you haven't, God bless you. You know. But inside, he identified as a dreamer. You know what I mean? Like he was the one who was always coming up with these lofty schemes and that you know that dichotomy was a really fun thing to play with, you know, in terms of writing the script. You know, it's interesting seeing those scenes in contrast because you never see where Stack lives. You know, like because he kind of is never at home anywhere. He's out in the world. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm at the train station. I'm out in the field. I'm in the car. For Smoke, you actually get to see his house, which is kind of heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Because quite a nice house, you know. Like, you know, you realize you probably didn't want to leave, you know. So you know, all those things were really exciting, and it was great to have, you know, Miles in the middle of that, you know what I mean, like, and him being able to play off of, you know these two different, you know, they cousins, but they kind of like uncles or father figures that he wish he had, you know. And one he's kind of scared of, you know what I mean, like he's got kind of frightened of Smoke when he's on his own, but with Stack it's all smiles and you know, admiration. So it was really fun.
I will never get tired of watching that scene, ever. How did you do that, Ryan?
Yeah, lots of great hires. You know, hired phenomenal crew and incredible casting. Local casting, had a great choreographer named Acclaim Jones, who does lots of movie choreography, but is most famous for doing choreography for Usher. And he did all the choreography for the Panther films. You know, and pretty much anytime there's collective movement in those movies, we would bring in Acclaim. I met him through Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. But yeah, and you know, phenomenal work from the camera department and costume, VFX, music. You know, it was a full team effort, centered around Miles's incredible performance, and yeah, you know, wanted to you know, from a writing perspective, it was like our midpoint. You know, any writers in here? Good. Yeah. So I found out what a midpoint was, like super late in the game, like third movie late. And it's a fun device. Like it's where you know, the traditional midpoint is where you know you tell the audience what the movie is actually about. You know, they've been in for one thing, but a good midpoint is like, hey, actually it's about this. You know, and it can kind of kick you into the rest of the movie. And I thought it'd be, you know, really exciting to you know, explore this idea of this cosmically gifted musician who doesn't really know it, you know, doing this conjuring that we advertised in a like a metaphysical thing, but to film it like very practically, you know, like as if these spirits are like right there, flesh and blood in the room with everybody. I thought that'd be, you know, really interesting, and everybody was up for the challenge, man. That's all the real actors in here, you know. And it was so much fun. We had the big IMAX camera, it could only shoot for 70 seconds. So we broke it up in the sections, and everybody was involved. We Hollywooding things, you know. VFX is doing their thing. Ludwig is there, our composer, Ludwig Jorensen, he's there with all his staff, and they're adjusting the music. You know, if we need help with the timing on the stitch points. It was a blast, man. And what will happen is, you know, we have all these extras in there from New Orleans, and everybody in New Orleans can dance. So it was you know, it was getting down. Like if you look at the man, this one, I don't know if we hit this, man. I'll challenge y'all to watch it. Like it's this one dude, man, who doing like some hip action like I ain't never seen before, and like he wasn't even one of the dancers. He was just background. You know what I mean? And he by himself. He got the drink in one hand, and he just midair with it. You know what I mean? Like it was so much fun, and we would cut, and like everybody would just like flood to the monitor like to watch and see, like, you know, see how we did, you know. And it was such a family affair, because it's like, you know, it's our lead actors huddled around, background jumping over, you know what I mean? Dancers, that's day players for us. But it was all hands on deck, man. And we had the costumes by the great Ruth Carter, who's done, you know, she's so youthful. I mean, she's working with Mike right now on his movie, and she's done every type of movie, man. Like I don't want to date Ruth, man, but you know, she been making movies, you know, since before I was thought of, you know, and to see how excited she was. For this scene, and like it was like she wasn't sleeping, like she was so fired up about the, you know. So I was like, man, maybe we got something, you know. And Miles just killed it, man. Well, I kept telling you to push it further.
Yeah, Miles, tell us about what that scene. So this is the midpoint, the pivotal scene, and you are at the mid of the midpoint. You are like at the heart of the heart.
Yeah, I mean, it just exceeded everything that I thought it was gonna be. When I first read the script, I thought it was gonna be like ghosts flying around and stuff like that. I really had no idea what the plan was, but when I watched it, they made like an animated video of like kind of how everything was gonna work, the choreograph. They had been working on it for a couple weeks, because it's like 40 plus dancers and musicians are all in the same room. And so I seen that, and then I heard the song "I Lied to You," written by Raphael Sadiq. And I was just blown away, because I heard that probably like midway of filming, and that just gave me so much more like context and information about the character, about Sammy, and what he's chasing. You know, it made it clear. So Ludwig actually taught me how to play "I Lied to You" like the first week we got out there. So I had been practicing it the whole time, just building up the anticipation to finally do that scene. And once we did it, it was just like, it was incredible. Like, it was so much great energy. The whole cast was there. You could feel everybody, you know, giving 100%. So it was amazing.
So we're already such an experienced singer, but not as experienced at acting.
Right.
Did you feel like you were pushed to outside your comfort zone in singing and acting by the scene?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, what were the challenges for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like acting is so much of like just like within yourself, like getting that emotional range. I feel like that was something I hadn't really tapped into, and I actually credit, you know, Beth McGuire a lot, because she helped me really break it down, like make me understand like the importance of using your past experiences or your personal experiences to the character, and what that does for the scene and what you're chasing. So yeah, that was something that I utilized, and it made me grow a lot throughout the process.
I'll say this, from day one, him being on set, I was completely blown away. You know, he was in this, you know, me, him, Delroy, great Delroy Lindo, you know, in a car, you know, 100 plus degrees.
Yes, sir.
No AC, wool suit, hat, you know, sun beaming down out in these, you know, sugarcane fields, and you know, the way Miles held his own, and very eager to learn, you know, and wasn't afraid to ask questions, and he completely blew me away. It was no way he was gonna tell me this is the first time he ever was in front of a camera, you know what I'm saying? And by the time, you know, Sammy grew throughout the movie, you know, from the beginning to the end, you know, the same amount of growth, you know, Miles grew from the first day of production to the last day. This man walked away, you know, like blown away, you know, blew everybody away. Like this dude is special, you know, it's awesome.
Did you come out changed? Did you feel different at the end of this movie from how you went?
Yeah. I feel like I was definitely pushed beyond my limits. I didn't, so much more that I didn't even know I was capable of. When before the film, I was, you know, home, off the tour, just working on music, had my locks, I was going into my artist vibe and stuff like that. And I was so locked into that, and then this opportunity came, and, you know, I found I had to cut my hair and learn guitar and learn how to act, and it was so many different things, but that could have, I felt like, deterred me from doing it, but it just felt like it was something I was supposed to do. And even throughout the process, on days that I felt like I was unsure, I just continued to push myself to, you know, strive to be great and to you know, overcome all of those fears I had during filming. So by the end of it, I felt so much more confident. I felt like I had learned a new skill, and like the guitar is something I've incorporated into my music. So many different things that this film was able to give me that is priceless.
Michael, this is a real turning point for Smoke. Well, and for Stack.
Yeah, Stack too.
That's a turning point. But it's devastating to experience a twin losing his brother in that way. And then the implications for Smoke going forward at the forefront. Can you just talk to us about how you inhabited that moment and the grief and the change for your character as Smoke in particular?
That was a tough one. You know, the relationship between identical twins are so unique and special, you know, because for Smoke, he lost his brother, but he lost him, you know, he lost, like, in Smoke's mind, that was him also, you know, and you know, being the, you know, the father, you know, a figure, you know, he felt like he failed, you know, the external soldier, but then also the internal father that he felt that he was. In that particular scene, you know, when you're working with a twin double, and then, you know, the blood element, you know.
Yeah, Mike didn't like the blood.
Oh man.
There's a lot of blood.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then
Yeah, it's crazy.
you know, how we shot it, you know, because it's interesting because, you know, the tone of this movie is something as an actor, you know, you're sometimes gauging the scene and the situation of like what's honest to the character, what's honest to me as a performer, but also what tone are we hitting right now? Mm-hmm. And shortly after that, you have a few other things that happen pretty quickly. Yeah. You know, in the timeline, this movie takes place in, like, you know, 24 hours, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the timeline, I'm like, okay, cool, so we going from this place to that place. And I know me and Coog had lengthy conversations around, you know, how to segue into this moment, because shortly after that, Cornbread pulling up. Which takes us all into this space, you know what I'm saying?
It's a different vibe.
It's a different vibe, and trying to marry those emotions in a short amount of time, and to reason with me and the Smoke in a way that felt honest, was something that we threaded the needle on, you know, and felt like we hit that sweet spot. So just you know, all of the emotions of losing a brother, losing an identical twin, of losing somebody that's close to you without any answers, you know, and then you just seeing some shit that you can't explain.
There's
You
a
know what I'm
lot
saying?
going on.
So there's a lot of like thoughts behind it, but him going back to the thing that, and this is the first time he ever really asked around spirituality or mojo bag. Smoke naturally don't believe in any of that shit.
Yeah.
But he believes in Annie, and if Annie believed in it, you know what I'm saying, he would deal with it. You know what I'm saying? He would accept it. So that moment of him asking, "You got a mojo bag?" That was Smoke at his look like I'm looking for anything. To patch this up, to fix something, because this ain't making sense. So, you know, just trying to, you know, pack all that into a moment. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot. Annie is always right.
Hey.
Annie is
Correct.
always right.
Correct.
Yeah. You know, Ryan, you actually got me into a big controversy on social media
Sorry?
because you said, I heard an interview you did where you said that Mississippi is the most African place you've been outside the African continent. And that
Me personally,
yes.
but I ain't been everywhere.
No, I know, but you were talking about
Yeah.
the Africanness of the African American experience.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
What
that-
happened? Somebody came at you. Who?
It's so
Point 'em out. Who they at?
visceral in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And Annie is a character who like brings us back to the shared heritage, that ancestry, and
Mm-hmm.
that tradition. And anyway, I said something on socials about how I loved the way that you were centering the African in the African American experience, and then I got trolled by a lot of people
Who?
saying, "Why are you always having to make African Americans about Africa?" And I was
Oh.
like.
Right.
I mean, you know the times we live
social
in.
media
It's
fight.
crazy out there.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to ask you about that and about the way that you owned that, and it felt intentional. What were you? Was that something you set out to do, or did it just emerge from the story?
Highlighting the Africanness of African American people.
And also, well, the way Annie is always right. In a way, it feels like a metaphor.
Yeah.
That when you stay true to that
Yeah.
heritage.
The grounded nature of it.
The grounded nature,
Yeah.
you get it right.
Totally. I think so. I think like for me, I loved all these characters, and I feel like they kind of I feel like they kind of always are right and wrong at the same time. You know, what I love the most about Annie and her spirituality is she knows that she doesn't have all the answers. You know, like she rarely speaks definitively. You know what I mean? Which you know, I based her on a lot of true people. But I got an aunt, my Uncle James' daughter, my cousin Wendy, who married me and Zinzi.
Oh, bet.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Like my mom watched the movie, was like, yo, she reminds me of Wendy so much. I never told nobody that I was, but I got a cousin like that, who she's very spiritual, very grounded, but also very open. You know what I mean? Like she's more likely to say, hey, I'm not sure about this person, or I'm not sure about this situation. You know what I mean? Or you know, I just want you came up on my mind.
Yep.
You was in my dream the other day. I just wanted to call and let you know that I love you, kind of person. You know what I mean? But not like you were in my dream. Don't go on the trip. You know, like, it's never that. You know, and I think that the grounded, you know, the grounded nature of Annie is what Smoke was attracted to. You know, he's kind of already in this relationship with this person that's like so flighty. you know what I mean? It's so hard to keep track of. It's so unpredictable that I think he was attracted to this woman who was a stabilizing force spiritually for him. You know, you know, so yeah, like she says like, yo, it could be a hang or worse. You know what I mean? Like it's never like, you know, this is exactly it. You know, and what I love about Wumi is like she plays searching so fucking well. Like she plays honesty so well. You know, and I wanted like Smoke and Annie to be like a deeply honest relationship, and and Stack and Mary to be a deeply dishonest, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so you know, these are two characters that you know, it was important that Smoke and Annie never lie in the movie. And Stack is almost universally always like, you know. But yeah, like but yeah, no, for sure. Like Mississippi's super African. Have you been?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I've been all over the continent. And Mississippi is like, it's got that vibe. Like it's almost like that. Like the people brought Africa to the States and kind of like left it there. You know, if that makes sense. You know, I do think that people can affect a place. You know, yeah, man. I haven't been to. I got a homie that's named Blitz Bazawule. He's a filmmaker from Ghana, and he claims that Salvador Bahia is the most African place he's ever been.
In Brazil.
Yeah, he's from Ghana. You know,
Yeah.
so like,
yeah. That's a strong place.
Yeah. You know, so you know, it's you know, like I think that it's not a crazy statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From my own personal point of view.
I agree.
I feel sorry that people came at you.
Oh
on the
no,
internet.
it's all good.
But you
all
know,
good.
the internet is a place where people say a lot of shit they wouldn't say in person. You know what I mean? So
True.
you know.
First of all, when that clip started playing, you guys were excited. They all started chatting and like, talk to me. What was going on there?
No. We was we came from a Q&A at Ham Yard on the way here, and a woman asked about the she noticed like the motif of threes in the movie. Which is like the first time somebody in the audience noticed. I think like we don't do many of these, so I was just.
Oh, in the lighter.
Yeah, it's three. Yeah, it's three lighter strikes when he's trying to light the cigarette.
Someone in this audience noticed
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah. So we was just talking about that, and then Mike was pointing out something else he found that I didn't even know was in there.
What was that, Michael?
In you know, the power clip, you know, when Smoke goes to see Annie, you know, there's the three strikes of the match. You know what I'm saying? We was one, but then there's also, you know, the plantation money that's up screen, and she got the razor blade to his neck, and then he got the real money on the right hand. So it just had another set of three. It was interesting. First time I peeped it.
I didn't peep that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just the choices.
Did you write
know what I'm
that? The threes?
The threes for sure, yeah, but like not. I didn't write that blocking. That was the actors, yeah.
That was us figuring out.
Yeah, that was the act. That was all them.
And it just so happened, like I just literally first time that question actually what made me notice it just now. So it was
Yeah, the movie we dealing with, like, you know, it's the, you know, Christianity and hoodoo, Holy Trinity, and, you know, we dealing with the rule of threes, the whole movie, you know, which was fun.
The writing, Ryan. This scene, there's so much happening here. It's such a beautiful full story. But the writing, for me, I just thought it's exquisite.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm in awe of your writing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really kind of you to say. Work really hard at it.
Yeah.
No, seriously. But it's all there, man. Like it's all in.
I mean, the performances were okay too.
It's all it's truly all in their face. You know, you know, and Mike's just such a, you know, again, man, such an insane performance, man.
Yeah.
Like that day we shot, that was my birthday. I turned 38 out there. Yeah, I was trying to get 7 in there.
Oh, yes,
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I turned 38. I turned 38 out there, and it was a fucking batshit day. Like we shot. This movie's crazy. We had a big shootout with the Klan, blew up a car, or special effects. The car blows up. No, let me tell you this crazy shit, because Mike puts me on the spot in the wildest ways. Like we shooting film, and we running late as usual. And these motherfuckers threw me a birthday party at lunch. Like cake and all the shit. Like I'm like, yo, we gotta get back to shoot. Happy birthday. And I'm like, yo. So we get back. we gotta blow the car up. And like all the cash came out, and they fake it. They telling me, "Hey, we here for your birthday," but they really came to see the car blow up. You know what I'm saying? Say all over there, like with the context on and shit. Like actors that don't shoot that week, they all there. Like we're not gonna blow it. You know, like. And Mike's like fully fucking in character as this terrifying man. You know what I'm saying? He's like, and we got 2 takes to blow the car, but really 1 take because we out of time. You know, and we shot the fucking baby. He had infant babies out there. Intimacy. Yeah. Everybody's crying because we playing Sade by your side. Like while she's there nursing these real infants. You know like it's just like everybody's a fucking mess. You know what I mean? Like Zinzi, my wife's there giving me notes. She's crying and shit. Gerkie's crying. You know what I mean? Because it's Sade, right? He's one of y'all on, right? So then we do the baby. Gotta blow up the car. We gotta get you out of there. You gotta drive off at the end of the day. Yeah. But we got this car 1 take, and I got the shot lined up. So Mike's gonna go in, to the car. You gotta enter frame, and it's gotta blow up at the right time. And Mike's got great timing and everything. So I'm ready to go. Right before the take goes, this motherfucker turns to me in character and says, "Hey, you gotta push me so I know I'll get in there on time. I'm gonna wait for your push." And I'm like, he got a gun in his hand and shit. I'm like, okay, I got you, bro. And they like pictures up, and I get so fucking nervous. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna blow this, like I'm gonna fucking, they gonna push him at the wrong time or whatever. And it's like action, and I'm waiting. I push him at the right time. He gets in the frame, car blows up. He got a blood bag hanging off you and shit. Like, so, they pumping the blood. Yeah, the blood. And then I'm like, exit frame, we get it. And the special effects, after he who blew the car, he's like, "Hey, hell of a birthday cake, huh? Happy birthday." I'm like, "Yeah, happy birthday." But truthfully, like what he's doing in that scene, man, like it's all like the fatigue that you play, like Why you there with David?
David,
Why you there with David? That fatigue, man. It's all, like Smoke's done talking, and I thought it was just fantastic work you did, bro.
What did you want to leave us with, Michael, from that scene?
Oh man, for me, I've been lucky enough and blessed enough to work with Ryan over the last like almost 15 years, and as an actor, you're really of service to the project, and when you're working with a writer-director, it's all him. It's not like a director coming in, writing somebody else, shooting somebody else's work, or, and us being similar in age. He's a bit older, you know what I'm saying? and understanding that he's writing things that, that are really deeply personal to him on a lot of different levels, things that, he's never going to share or whatever it is, things that's only for him and for, people that need to know or whatever, but understanding the weight of these moments, there's a deep seriousness and a connection that I have with them that, I have to bring everything I have to, to make sure that it does. Not really caring what nobody else thinks, what he thinks, and how he feels about it, and how, people that are close to him feel about it. That was my purpose in that moment, and then all the other elements start to pour in. The reality of Smoke. This is his. This is his solo. This is his guitar solo. You know what I'm saying? Like this is his final act. Before he gets to go finally rest. He was tired. Smoke was tired. Through this movie, and I think through life a little bit. So he was ready for some quiet. He was ready to get back to this loved one. So he made a decision. And first and foremost was to get him up out of here and get him home, because he made a promise that he's gonna bring him back, So, like you said, Sade was playing. Man, it was a deeply emotional day. It was extremely hot. I want to say I had that tank top tan for about 8 months after that, because that shit was baked in. It was that heat, that Louisiana heat is no joke. And we out there smoking them fake cigarettes and clan out there, you shooting, blowing up shit.
Gators. Gators.
Oh, gators was there, literally like swamps. Gators
the
literally
gators
right
would watch
on,
us shoot.
literally right on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
That's an image.
They would literally pull up like, man, what y'all shooting today?
For real.
Like, you ever see him like?
For real, bro.
And it was just, you know, some of the things that are the most complicated sometimes, well, it goes both ways. Sometimes are the most complicated, or it seems like so much going on, are the most fruitful. And then, you know, on the other end, sometimes things that are most simple and basic seem to be the most powerful also. And this was one that had all the elements to it.
Bro, it's no hard, fast rule with music and movies. Like, you know, I've seen great movies with no music in them. Great example is 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, Romanian film. Not an ounce of music in it, you know what I mean? Like, completely effective cinematic experience. Or you can have movies like our good friend Chris Nolan, who you know, tends to go like wall to wall, you know what I mean? And still beautiful and effective. You just gotta tailor it towards what the film is. It's called a Petsfall effect, a Petsfall lens. Really beautiful spherical lens that has circular warping along the edges. We had a real one for the IMAX camera, and then our VFX team scanned it and was able to add it to shots that we didn't use that lens on. If y'all want to know what the Petsfall looks like raw, you can watch a movie called Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos. So a few shots in there. One of Margaret Qualley, where she's in a close-up later on in the film that really utilizes it. You can see it spin in the trees around her. But we use it about like maybe 6 times in the movie.
Thank you.
You know what? It was 3 questions, but they were 3 great questions. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for coming. Thank